Good morning, and we bring you the latest edition of MBC News with me, Romeo Umari. Coming up, Vice President Dr. Jen Ansah calls for national unity as a prerequisite for the country's progress. Norwegian government pledges additional support to Malawi as United Nations launches Window 3 Round 1 of the Green Economy Transition Facility. In sports, Ekaya FC crowned champions of Premier Bet Sabidwa 4 Bonanza after beating Goshen City Deza Dynamos by a goal to nil. Story, Vice President Dr. Jen Ansah has called on Malawians to embrace unity and take collective responsibility in building the nation. Dr. Ansah made the remarks in Area 49 in Lilongwe during a mega Sunday service at the Pentecost International Christian Center, PICC. Charles Wahara reports.
The mega Sunday service at Pentecost International Christian Center, PICC, marked the closing of the church's first ever global convention, which ran from March 23 to 28. The convention was the first of its kind since the church was established in 2010. Speaking during the service, Vice President Dr. Jen Ansah urged Malawians to use the Easter period as a platform to promote unity, responsibility, and national development. She further encouraged Christians to uphold integrity and humility, saying these values are key to building a strong and morally upright nation. Dr. Ansah also challenged believers to reflect on their conduct, noting that some societal challenges are perpetuated by individuals who profess faith but fail to live by its principles.
He said, should the people want a king like any other, you should choose one among you, someone who would not increase horses and gold. And there was one thing he said, that leader must copy, must write the law and read the law so that he may rule well. What am I saying? The church is a part and parcel of building a nation. The church should not conform to the world.
In his remarks, a senior pastor for Pentecost International Christian Center, Pastor Esau Banda, commended Dr. Ansah for attending the service, describing her presence as a demonstration of humility and leadership that can inspire others. Pastor Banda said the convention attracted delegates from across Malawi and abroad, including church leaders and professionals.
Yes, indeed, the Vice President has talked about the importance of unity in nation building. I must emphasize that surely there is no nation that can be built by one person. Even the church, even our families, our communities can never be developed by one person. And therefore, as a church, we will continue to impress on the members to be united.
The convention was held under the theme Let Us Arise and Build, drawn from Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 18 and Matthew chapter 16 verse 18, focusing on spiritual growth, leadership, and prayers for the nation. The closing mega Sunday service was held under the theme Thanks Be to God, from the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 57. Charles Wahara, MBC News, Lilongwe.
In a related development, former President Dr. Joyce Banda has urged the country's youth to define their life purpose by creating a clear vision for their future. Dr. Banda made the appeal in Blantyre during a day-long youth seminar organized by the Abundant Life Chapel. The program was designed to motivate young people and provide them with a roadmap for their personal and professional lives. Charles Pensulo reports.
The Abundant Life Chapel in Limbe Blantyre organized the workshop to motivate the youth so that they become productive citizens. In her remarks, the former president, who was the guest of honor, said the youth have the potential to contributing to the country's development. Dr. Banda said the youth should therefore realign themselves to prevailing global trends, saying in any challenge there is a solution. According to the former president, the youth must make sure that every single day must be productive and avoid laziness, which leads to evil minds.
Because the young people of Malawi, they are so hardworking. When they create wealth, they will employ others. And therefore, money will begin to circulate, particularly at grassroots level. So I came to encourage them because I see how hard they are working. This is one country where men and women can work together.
One of the motivational speakers, Justice Jean Kaira from the High Court, said the youth are the weapons in as far as change is concerned, hence the need to use their energy in developing the nation.
Once the youth have directed their energy in terms of pure investment that will earn them, it is going to help in eradicating the outcries that have been there in terms of being corrupt and also using means that are not worthy or that are not good for them to earn a living.
And Director of Youth at the church, Patricia Lwinga, commended the speakers, saying they have learned much from them.
We need to get the inspirations from some of the great people, some of those people who have made it in life. So we have seen, we had our former president, Dr. Joyce Banda. We have some of the other presenters who are people that have come to inspire us today. So we just want to learn from the great minds as we work towards the change of mindset for the youth.
The meeting, which was being held under the theme Empowering the Youth for a Purposeful Future, brought together youth from and outside the church within Blantyre. Charles Pensulo, MBC News, Blantyre.
The Norwegian ambassador to Malawi, Annie Sophie Bjelland, has underscored Norway's commitment to supporting Malawi's transition to a more resilient and competitive economy by backing private enterprises in green business solutions. She said this during the launch of Window 3, Round 1 of the Green Economic Transition Facility, GETF, under the United Nations Development Programme in Lilongwe. Trinity Kapantengo reports.
The Green Economic Transition Facility under the United Nations Development Programme has launched Window 3 Round 1, offering matching grants of up to $300 to support private enterprises developing energy-smart green business solutions for agricultural transformation in Malawi. Norwegian ambassador to Malawi, Annie Sophie Bjelland, said Norway contributes approximately $1.9 million annually to the facility to reduce investment risk and enable Malawian businesses to adopt new technologies.
And we support it because this initiative, because energy access is essential for productivity and agriculture and a wider economy. And Norway is committed to supporting Malawi's transition to a cleaner, more resilient and a more competitive economy.
Green Economic Transition Facility Program Manager Tamvani said the facility has resources to support entrepreneurs promoting sustainable agricultural transformation through energy-smart solutions. He urged the private sector to apply and benefit from the funding window.
We have got the resources to support Malawian entrepreneurs who are really aiming at promoting sustainable agriculture transformation using sustainable energy, transformative energy in agriculture.
Green Economic Transition Facility is a MAD partner initiative. Window 3 is supported by the Royal Norwegian Embassy through the United Nations Development Programme, the Embassy of Ireland and German Development Corporation through German Development Bank, and is managed by Landemills International. Trinity Kapantengo, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Ministry of Health and Sanitation has described the one-stop center facility as a critical step in addressing gender-based violence, GBV. Acting Deputy Director responsible for non-communicable diseases and mental health in the ministry, Hastings Chiumia, made the remarks at Nkoma Mission Hospital in Lilongwe during the handover of the one-stop center facility to the Lilongwe District Social Welfare Office through Nkoma Hospital. The facility has been constructed by World Vision Malawi. Madali Tomhango reports.
According to the acting deputy director responsible for non-communicable diseases and mental health, Hastings Chiumia, The opening of the facility is a milestone in the provision of quality healthcare services, particularly for survivors of gender-based violence. Chiumya therefore commended World Vision Malawi for the facility, saying it aligns with the health sector's strategic plan and government efforts in addressing GBV.
As government, through Minister of Health, what we have done is we have actually scaled up countrywide in order to provide the quality health services in relation to sexual and gender-based violence.
World Vision Malawi Director of Operations Charles Chimombo said the facility will enable surrounding communities to easily report cases of GBV apart from receiving medical care and counseling, a development he says will help reduce cases of GBV.
We believe that this facility will improve access to services because everything that is required for a survivor of gender-based violence is found at one place. So it's an easy-to-go center, and we think that because of that, we would be able to reach out to more people.
For his part, Lilongwe District Social Welfare Officer Derek Mwenda said the district continues to register cases of GBV ranging from child abuse to sexual violence, among other cases. He noted that the new center will help in disseminating messages on GBV to surrounding communities.
When we are planning to have one-stop center here at Nkoma Mission Hospital with our partner World Vision, we discovered that there are also a lot of cases that are taking place here, but most of those survivors of abuse and violences, they were not getting interventions that are required for the survivor to get when you are responding to the cases.
World Vision constructed the one-stop center at Nkoma Hospital at a cost of 47 million kwacha. The facility has been designed to provide medical support, counseling, and legal assistance to GBV survivors free of charge. Madalitso Muhango, MBC News, Lilongwe.
The Malawi Law Society, MLS, has announced that it will intensify inspections throughout the year in a bid to curb malpractice among legal practitioners who fail to meet professional requirements. Speaking on the development, MLS President Davis Njovu expressed concern over the growing number of cases where clients struggle to trace their lawyers, particularly on matters involving financial transactions. Njovu made the remarks at the end of MLA's annual general meeting. He explains.
Yes, so under the Code of Ethics, this is the Malawi Law Society Code of Ethics, there are provisions that talk about what one should do before they can set up a law firm in terms of the requirements, even the number of years, as to how many years should a lawyer have practiced before they can set up a legal firm. This is also under the Legal Education and Legal Practitioners Act. It has been brought to our attention that contrary to that, there's a number of firms that are being run by maybe lawyers who don't have the requisite years of practice. And then also the question that you're raising, that maybe some firms are just on paper, but you don't really have premises, you do not have a secretariat, you do not have even a library. Now, all that is contrary to the provisions of our Code of Ethics and indeed our laws. So we are going to intensify inspections in the new year to ensure that each and every lawyer, all law firms are adhering to the requirements because it doesn't really give a good picture if a lawyer, you cannot really find their offices, but they are handling clients' money. That also becomes an issue of discipline because it doesn't really give confidence even to the clients as to what will happen in the event that maybe they get awarded vast sums of money, but they can't even find their own lawyer.
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. Vice President Dr. Jenan Sarr calls for national unity as a prerequisite for the country's progress. Norwegian government pledges additional support to Malawi as United Nations launches Window 3 Round 1 of the Green Economy Transition Facility. In sports, Ekaya FC crowned champions of Premier Bet Sabitwa 4 Bonanza after beating Goshen City Delta Dynamos by a goal to nil. Moving on, Lero Sugar Malawi has expressed a concern over increasing acts of vandalism and theft targeting the company's property, saying the situation is significantly reducing their annual profits. The company's managing director, Ronald Ngwira, raised the concern during a visit by officials from the Office of the President who toured the company to assess the damage caused by recent floods to its sugarcane fields. Mercy Zamawa reports.
Watching from a distance, one might think that these people are ordering sugarcane, but this is not the case. They are actually stealing the cane from Lero sugar fields. The company's managing director, Ronald Ngwira, said these acts are costing the company up to 24 billion kwacha in losses by the end of the year. Ngwira added that about 50 thieves enter the sugarcane fields each day to steal, and some even use children.
Daily theft of cane, the theft of cables, the theft of copper wires, the theft of fertilizers and chemicals is a big issue. It's costing our company, it's costing the government, it's costing the nation a lot of money. So in every bag of sugar there's a lot of money that is going towards theft. So we are trying to work with it. We took the opportunity of briefing the Chief Secretary.
Following complaints from the company's managing director, Chief Secretary to the government, Dr. Justin Saidi, has condemned the malpractice of stealing sugarcane and other equipment at Lero Sugar Company in Chikwawa.
No, the people around here, they're encouraged to work closely with the company. They are encouraged to support the company as well. They do support the people around, but also let the people support the company. They know that sugar is not only for them, it's for everybody, every Malawi. So issues of theft must stop forthwith so that they are able to use the sugar that they have for the country. I also want to thank them that every time there are floods, they come handy and support our people, even before we come. That is commendable, and we continue working with them on a number of areas to ensure that people around here, they are supported whenever they have problems.
The stealing of sugarcane, scrap materials and electricity cables is causing the company to lose up to 80 billion kwacha by the end of the year. Mercy Zamawa, MBC News, Chikwawa.
Umodzi Holdings Limited has paid 1 billion kwacha in interim dividends to one of its shareholder, the Malawi government, for the 2025-2026 financial year. The latest payment of 600 million kwacha was handed over in Lilongwe following an earlier disbursement of 400 million kwacha. The handover ceremony took place at the Bingwe International Convention Center, where Umodzi Holdings Limited officials highlighted the company's strong financial performance. Smart Jaliga reports.
Umodzi Holdings Limited Chief Executive Officer Steve Rwanda said the dividend payout has been driven by profits of over 6.1 billion kwacha recorded during the financial year. Rwanda added that the company is now looking to expand its business operations to sustain growth and increase returns in the future.
Basically, we, as a business, we have to make sure that I think whatever we're doing, that's the bottom line, the profitability, is sustainable. So next thing is revenue enhancement to ensure that our revenue streams are improved further.
But while applauding the development, government has challenged the company to do more. Deputy Director of Public Finance Management Systems in the Ministry of Finance, Daisy Kachingwepiri, said the milestone is commendable, but there is a need for continued improvement and higher contributions to the economy.
Dividend represents the other forms of revenues for government to be able to finance the budget and serve the people of Malawi. So we are excited about this dividend. Of course, we expect more.
Umodzi Holdings Limited remain one of the government's key investments, with expectations that its continued growth will boost public revenue and support national development. Smart Chaliga, MBC, Lilongwe.
The Saulos Klaus Chilima Foundation charity golf tournament has raised 251 million kwacha towards the procurement of dialysis machines for strategic district hospitals across the country. More than 120 golfers graced the course at Lilongwe Golf Club for a day-long event aimed at saving lives. Details with our reporter, Foster Maulidi.
The foundation's chairperson, Mary Chilima, expressed gratitude to companies and golfers who participated, describing the tournament as a success despite falling short of the 346 million kwacha target. Chilima said the foundation remains guided by the impactful vision of the late Vice President Saulos Klaus Chilima, adding that the funds raised will go a long way in supporting the health sector.
About 20% of Malawians have kidney impairments, and some of them don't even know until it's too late. And they find that when they go to the hospital, they can't access any health care. So it's like a death sentence. The minute you have kidney failure, it's almost like being told you're going to die. And these are diseases that can be managed and people can live a long time. So a lot of people find that the cost of dialysis machines is very high. But we thought as SKC was always aiming high, as a foundation, we too thought we should aim high and see what impact we can have.
Melvin Donga, head of government and international organizations at NBS Bank, which was a platinum sponsor of the tournament, reaffirmed the bank's commitment to supporting the foundation's charitable initiatives. He also urged other companies to join the cause and contribute meaningfully to the society. Chairperson of the fundraising committee, Boyd Luwe, also thanked the corporate sector for its support towards achieving the life-saving goal. He appealed for continued contributions to help bridge the funding gap and support future initiatives.
I'm deeply humbled. We have a lot of support from the private sector. I can confidently say that only a few public institutions participated. Our idea has always been that we rely more on the private sector to support our initiatives. The intention is that we should have lifelong contributors to the initiative of the foundation.
The SKC Foundation has set a 1 billion kwacha mobilization target for its 2026 charitable initiatives aimed at supporting the underprivileged across various sectors in the country. Foster Maulidi, MBC, Lilongwe.
Ekaya FC have been crowned champions of the Premier Bet Sapitwa 4 Bonanza after beating Goshen City Dynamos by a goal to nil. The two-day tournament took place at Mulanje Park. Norbert Jameson reports.
New signing Chimwemwe Chunga scored the only goal of the match in the second half to hand the Cowboys the title. Ekaya have finished the tournament with 7 points from 2 games, while Goshen City Dynamos have collected 4 points to finish third. Second position has gone to Red Lions, who beat Mighty Wanderers by 2-1 to take their tally to 6 points. Wanderers are the bottom club with 3 points from 2 games after losing 1 and drawing 1 in regulation time. This was the 4th edition of the pre-season tournament, which was organized by Super League of Malawi, Sulom Executive Committee member Chimwemwe Nyirenda. Norbert Jameson, MBC Sport, Mulanje.
And that item wraps up this edition of MBC News. A reminder of our top stories. Vice President Dr. Jenan Sarr calls for national unity as a prerequisite for the country's progress. Norwegian government pledges additional support to Malawi as United Nations launches Window 3 Round 1 of the Green Economy Transition Facility. In sports, Ekaya FC crowned champions of Premier Bet Sabitwa 4 Bonanza after beating Goshen City Dynamos by a goal to nil. For the latest news, follow our digital platforms by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You were with me, Romeo Umari. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.
drawn level.
The power of television is so present in our lives. TV is a responsibility not only in entertaining and informing people, but using this medium of communication in positive ways to teach and enlighten people. Some years ago, Malawi saw the birth of its